So you are all motivated, hyped up. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna start meditating. I'm gonna start gym. I'm gonna go to Pilates, like whatever it is. I'm gonna do this online course. And then the motivation wears off. It's like day number 2, day number 3, and then maybe you want to sleep in, then maybe you are too tired, then maybe friend calls, then it's raining, then it's sunny, and you are like, I mean, I had a good intention, but I don't know how to follow through. No? I think we all have been there. And let me give you a framework, not a framework, but like a different point of view, how you can look on things and that will actually lead you to follow through. And you are like, yes, Oksana, give me that magic pill. And surprise, surprise, magic pill is not in the description of this video. Magic pill is inside of you, and we all have it. And that is curiosity. Curiosity will always beat motivation. Why? Motivation is a hype-up state. It's not bad, it's wonderful. It feels amazing within us, right? But I want to emphasize feels. It's a feeling state. Motivation basically is produced by the chemical cocktail in your brain. So your brain is flooded with dopamine. It's the molecule of drive, of going for it, of pursue. Seeing the thing and going after the thing. That happens when your brain is like induced with dopamine, right? And you get this dopamine from maybe listening some motivational videos on YouTube, maybe listening some hardcore gym music rap, something like this, for maybe talking with your friend, reading a book, or before New Year you write all those goals and you really like hype yourself up, plus you ask help from ChatGPT and it's like, oh my God, yes, I'm going for it. But then like 2 days later, 3 days later, right, the dopamine drops and you're like, I'm sleepy, I'm tired. So the motivation is a good thing, but it fluctuates. You know, it spikes and it drops. It spikes and it drops. That's what it is. That's why we shouldn't rely solely on motivation. We have to use all the tools available for us to constantly motivate ourselves. But curiosity and the question, what if, is something that will really propel you forward on the days when you will feel super hyped up and motivated and it's like, I own the world, and on the days when you will feel sluggish. Simply asking yourself a question, what if? What if I'm going to the gym 3 times a week for the next 90 days? What if I'm meditating 5 days straight? What if I cut off sugar for 30 days? What if I actually start that business? What if I post that video? What if I actually tell that girl, that man, how I feel about them? What if I have that vulnerable conversation? What if I go and hug my mom and say how much I love her? What if? What if I climb the Everest? What if I run that marathon? What if? What if I go without complaining for 7 days? And the beautiful thing about this question is that you are the only one who can provide the answer on that question. And only if you're actually doing and sticking to the thing that you want to do. Because the only way to know what happens if you meditate for 5 days straight, what happens if you go to the gym for 3 months, what happens if you cut sugar for 30 days is to actually do the thing. You can read about it, how other people experience that, but you will never know your own experience until you move through the experience. And here is why it actually works. Human brain, per its anatomy, is obsessed with open loops. So think about it. When someone breaks up with you and you feel like blindsided, it happens out of nowhere. What happens next? Like you're going crazy for the next months. Yeah, but oh my God, why it happened? What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? Like, but why? Like you constantly asking those why, what if, right? Why? Because the brain is trying to close the loop. The same, how all the social media hooks work, how all the marketing works. They create, or marketing, I mean like Netflix series, right? When one series ends, they create an open loop, so they force you, they take advantage of your anatomy. That's all it is. Let's not blame them, right? But like, they create an open loop and your brain is wired to close the loop. So you immediately, what you do, you click on the next series. And if you arrived to this video from my previous video, that's what I did. I created open loop for you, so you click on the next video. So you see how open loops are being created everywhere and they work. Hence, we must learn to create those open loops intentionally for ourselves, for the things that actually matter in our life. Because instead of giving an opportunity someone to create an open loop for the Netflix series, so we stay stuck in front of our computers and watch it until 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, we have created a different open loop for ourselves that actually match our values, that match the dream life that we want to live. What happens if I wake up every day at 6 a.m. and spend 30 minutes meditating? What happens if I drink 2-3 liters of water? What happens if? So learn to attach the question, what happens if, to your goal and the deadline of your goal. And the deadline, I mean set a deadline for 3 months. If you want to extend it later. But set achievable deadline. And what happens if I actually follow through and allow that curiosity, which is a very anatomical thing in your body, allow your anatomy to work for you and push you forward. So instead of relying purely on motivation, discipline, which are good things, but sometimes we also have to find more ease in our journey, and we can find more ease when we use our own anatomy for our own benefit. So think about your commitment, a goal or a dream, and put down in the comments what happens if and your thing, because this is exactly how I have completed, achieved, and done the things in my life. I have always been very curious. It's what happens if I go to India? What happens if I start to practice yoga every day when I was practicing Ashtanga yoga? What happens if I cut out the sugar for 30 days? What happens if I quit alcohol? I was always driven by this curiosity to do the things. So write down in the comments what you're curious about. And if you want to learn not only how to follow through, but actually stay consistent and build intentional habits, watch my next video.